evacuations. And then those images playing out on Russian television, along with the claims that it's actually Ukraine planning to move in on those Russian separatists. The U.S. State Department adamant, of course, that Ukraine is planning no such military action. U.S. and NATO allies very concerned that Vladimir Putin is using those images of a staged explosion, these evacuations involving seniors and children, to gain support inside Russia for any possible action on Putin's part, and that Putin could use this as a manufactured reason to invade Ukraine, falsely claiming he wants to protect those civilians. Those Russian separatists in eastern Ukraine playing a vital role in this operation, apparently. The U.S. now believes more than 190,000 Russian troops and separatist fighters are now surrounding Ukraine. It was just yesterday we reported here that President Biden had warned that Russia could invade within days. In fact, the U.S. now saying, contrary to what Russia has claimed, there has been no sign of any troop pullback, instead an increase of Russian troops. The president speaking just a short time ago with European leaders, with NATO allies, Russia claiming it is still open to a diplomatic resolution of some sort. We also learned late today that the UK has now suspended embassy operations in Kyiv. As you know, we've reported here the U.S. already took that step several days ago. You're looking live at the Roosevelt Room, where the president is expected to address the nation momentarily. Again, he has warned for days. We're expected to learn a little more about this conversation he had with allies, with members of NATO. They have been united in this. Whether or not Vladimir Putin is bluffing or planning an invasion of Ukraine remains to be seen. But one thing he has done is unite NATO in ways that we have not seen in recent years. Mary Bruce live outside the White House. And Mary, what are you learning from your sources at the White House? What we're expecting to hear from the president?
Well, David, we know that this call lasted roughly 45 minutes. The president and these key allies really having a chance to make sure that they all continue to be on the same page. It's also an opportunity for them to compare notes, essentially, on what they are seeing. We are told that they pledge to continue to pursue diplomacy here, and it also for them to discuss the importance of the steps they are going to take if Putin does, in fact, take action. Now, of course, we've seen this dual track that the U.S. and key allies have been taking, both diplomacy and deterrence. And while the president here at the White House has been optimistic that there is still a window for diplomacy here, of course, when we hear from the Russians, quite the opposite. It seems they have shown no interest in compromise or deterrence. And that is why you have seen an increasing heightened warnings from this administration. The president himself saying there's a very high risk that Putin could, in fact, invade in the next several days. Of course, that is what the White House hopes they are able to prevent, while, of course, alerting everyone to this real, very realistic possibility.
And Mary, we have all witnessed a somewhat shift in a strategy here in dealing with Russia compared to conflicts in recent years when it comes to Vladimir Putin. This time, the Biden administration looking to put out as much intelligence as it's comfortable doing, a lot more intelligence than we've seen in recent years, in an effort to try to tell the world what Putin could be planning. And Mary, it'll be interesting to hear how much the president goes into these images that we saw play out today. He had been warning of a false flag operation, and then we see that now Russia is accused of this explosion and then evacuations that the U.S. State Department believes is totally staged.
And this is the kind of actions, the kind of large-scale operation, the appearance of an emergency to justify an invasion that this administration has been warning about. And we really have been seeing a pretty remarkable shift in strategy. This administration really peeling back the curtain on U.S. intelligence, calling out Putin at every step. And here is the president.
Mary Bruce outside the